And we are back on the captain and the coach here on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA. Let me introduce the full crew here. You guys know the captain, Mike Martin. You know the coach, Al Borges. But we have a great assistant in studio. His name is Steve Clark. Be sure to join us up at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. The captain and the coach crew will be up there. We're going to have Steve Clark up there. Our guy, Joe Simon, is going to be up there as well. We're going to have a blast. And one of the things to note is during our watch party, which takes place after the KeyBank Countdown to Kickoff, which goes KeyBank Countdown to Kickoff from 11:30 until 2:30. Our watch party starts at 2:30. We're watching other games. And then the Michigan-Indiana game starts at 3:30. And then from that point on, your chance to watch and win money with every score. Every touchdown scored, they do a drawing for $600 in free play. Every extra point scored, they do a drawing for $100 in free play. Every field goal, a drawing for $300 in free play. And every safety, if there are any, a drawing for $200 in free play. That's every score, whether it's Michigan or Indiana. So it makes the game that much more fun. And, of course, you're there with the crew, and we're having a great time up at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort inside the Ascend Sports Bar. Hope to see you there this weekend. Now it is time to get into our Chalk Talk segment here on the Captain and the Coach, and we'll start with offense like we always do. If you want to follow along, go to YouTube, click or search Michigan Insider, click videos, and where we're going to start is on Michigan MSU 2019 Bubble Excellence to touch on what we said in the opening segment about threatening the entire field, forcing Michigan State to also to defend the width of the field, to defend Michigan horizontally. Bubbles played a huge and a key role in that. So we'll start off first, Al Borges, the first play, 49-second mark of the first quarter, 1st and 10.
Yeah, this is a split zone with orbit motion. The orbit guy, meaning he's going to jump back into the backfield. It could be a running back. It could be a receiver. Hell, it could be a tight end. I've done that before. What he'll do is as he motions back into the backfield, he will now swing out of the backfield and have both the slot and the outside receivers blocking for him if, in fact, the bubble goes out there. In this case, it does go out there. There is no reaction by the defense to the motion. When no one moves with the motion, we tell the court, give him the ball.
Right.
Now, the job of the man with the ball, the job of the quarterback is to put the ball a foot in front of his numbers so he doesn't break stride and he can just catch it and run seamlessly. The job of the receivers is to take the outside of their defender and try and hook them so we can expand the ball to the sideline and then only cut back or once we're cut off.
So let's for folks who aren't following the play, let's try to talk them through it a little bit. So you got split zone action, which they react to. They're trying to squeeze down on that split zone. And to your point, you also have the orbit motion going the same way as the
same
H.
way as a split zone.
And no one went with him. And if you're a quarterback, like you said, you see no one reacting to the motion guy. He's wide open. You throw it to him. You got numbers on the outside. Boom.
And this is a bit of a bastard formation, too, because it's an end overlook. So both receivers are on the line of scrimmage. The inside receiver is ineligible. If they threw him a pass, it'd be a penalty. But now what you have is the tight end off the ball and the Z receiver off the ball coming into orbit motion. You'll see when the ball snapped, he'll reach right about pistol width, right about where the pistol – if you lined up with the pistol, and then he just blows out of there as quick as he can and gets his head around fast, knowing that ball could be coming.
Yeah, so you get outside. This is great call, great design. They react to the split zone, leaves that bubble wide open to the outside to Donovan Peoples-Jones. Picks up some good yards, and he actually picked up a personal foul penalty on Michigan State at the end of that play. Next one.
Okay.
This one is in the fourth quarter, 14-14 on the clock, 1st and 10.
Okay, now this is a 3x1 nub side. 3x1 nub side means there's a nub tight end, meaning no one's outside that tight end. There's no wide receiver, and the 3 receivers are to the field side. Well, the concept is the same. The number 3 receiver is doing the same thing that the orbit guy did, okay? He's going to expand as quickly as he can. The 2 receivers are doing the same thing that the 2 receivers did on the last play. Now,
so talk to me real quick, Al, because you made note of this, and this is an offensive coordinator's eyes here. Because the question is, all right, how are you reading the bubble on this play when you got the back aligned away from the bubble.
Sam, that is such a good question.
So how do you do that?
I can't believe you would ask that question. That's amazing.
You pointed it out. How do you do it?
Okay. There's two ways you do the bubble, okay? You either bubble toward the way you're handing off, where your eyes are right in the same line as the bubble. So you can look right at the defender. You can read the bubble like you read an RPO. So he may be lined up on the guy, number 3 receiver, and on the snap of the ball, jump into the box. You can pull the ball and throw the ball out there. But in this play, the running back is lined up on the back side of the bubble. Well, the quarterback only has 2 eyes, and they both got to look the same direction, right?
Right.
So now the quarterback, it's an inside zone play. He now cannot throw the bubble off a post-snap read, but he can throw the bubble off a pre-snap read. So if he sees on a pre-snap read that his third receiver is not covered by a defender, he just stand up and flip in the ball, and away we go. It's nothing more than a sweep on the run.
So let's talk again for folks who aren't watching. You have trips to the field, all right, and you have your running back lined up on the other side of the quarterback. So you got trips to the field. You got the quarterback lined up to the running back lined up to the boundary side.
Correct.
So your running back, your quarterback, as he fakes to the running back, his back, he's not looking at the bubble, which is the question now. How are you reading the bubble? Well, you aren't. Your point was he looks over to the trip side pre-snap and sees that his slot guy
is not covered
at all. So
right.
he says, you know what? My bubble's wide open. I am not handing the ball off here. I'm going to throw it to the bubble. That's what he does.
He would never make this throw off a post-snap read because he can't look over there and do the other things that he has to do. Put that back on the other side now and run the zone back to the tight end. He could read that bubble off a post-snap read because the bubble is and the defender is in the direct line of vision of the throw.
Yeah, so this is a nice play. Speed in space. You want to see speed in space.
Speed in space.
You have Ronnie Bell picking up some big yards here. There was a flag at the end of the play. But saying to the next play, 12-24, 1st and 10, same deal. Same deal. A little less width, but same deal.
The ball is lined up. His ball is more in the middle of the field here, but that doesn't matter. You can still throw the bubble. There's enough room out there. Something I want to point out is I really believe the Michigan receiver corps has made a quantum leap on their perimeter blocking from earlier in the season. And this is something that, you may not notice as much as you notice the explosives or the pin and pulls or all the other schematics. But I just believe they have done a better job at getting plays started. Now, just as I say that, the next play, they don't do a very good job of blocking. Mm-hmm. But what we did do, and I think it's Donovan, if I'm not mistaken, it'll be up here in a minute, is the ability now, giving them the ability to get that thing started and win in the open field.
Yeah, he made 2 guys miss on it.
Two guys miss, and that was one of the few times they didn't do it. But sometimes they're not.
Yeah, because
and when they don't, you got to make something happen.
All right, so to bring you up to speed, the next bubble we talked about was the same situation. Trips to one side, the running back aligned to the other side. Shay noticing pre-snap, my slot, number 3 guy is uncovered. I am not handing this ball off.
No,
I'm going to throw the football. And then the next play that Al is talking about, the Donovan Peoples-Jones, that's the one that they called where he stepped out of bounds.
Mm-hmm. This was a design bubble too. This was a design bubble. This was not a run play.
Yeah, so this one was 10:32 in the fourth quarter, 3rd and 19 designed bubble.
Right. This is going out there no matter what, okay? So what happened here is you had to beat the inside receiver with the width of the throw. The inside defender with the width of the throw, and block whoever covers you down. Now, we missed the block at the point, but Donovan does such a good job of winning in the open field. And this is what we talk about when we talk about speed and space. It's not always going to be a perfect look out there. Sometimes they're not going to block them. But if you can get it started, if you can get your shoulders pointed to the goal line, it gives a big play guy a chance to make a big play.
Right. All right. So let's go now to RPO excellence. And we won't go through all of these plays because there's this was an RPO clinic, Al. I mean, this was, as you said in the first segment, this was the best that they've looked RPO-wise all season. Michigan State had no answer for the RPO game.
Well, think about it, Sam. What was our rushing total? 80-something yards or something?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got to remember, there were 15 to 16 plays that were called runs. that turn into passes. So you kind of got to count that a little bit on your rushing statistics because that's what the defense was giving you. The first one was simply a slant flat combination.
All right, so
off
let me
a
give
split
down
zone.
and distance. First quarter, 109, second and 8, and start with your description again.
Yeah, it was they're in a condensed formation 2x2. And you're getting a slant by the outside receiver and a flat route by the inside receiver.
So this is RPO off a split zone.
Off a split zone. Conflict defender was the weak inside linebacker. You can see him taking the fake, and that's just too easy.
It's wide open.
That is wide open. Because you have split safety defense and a linebacker grossly playing the run, they're just giving you that RPO.
I mean, they played the split zone hard in this game. So hard that Michigan abused them on it.
Well, this is why you have RPOs. I mean, because some games they decided they wanted to stop the run. Well, you got to have an answer.
Yeah, and so this gets to your point about someone asked, well, the decision that they make the decision before the game that they, we're gonna throw, we're gonna emphasize throwing the football in this game, losing sight of the fact with all these RPOs. Look, those are run plays. Those are run plays that turn into passes based on how Michigan State reacts.
And a lot of them speed and space plays. Here's another one. Now, this is a little short smash flat combination off an RPO.
All right, so this one is 2nd and 2, first quarter, 14 seconds to go.
Okay. Again, another split zone with a conflict defender overlapping into the box, overplaying the run. The safety coming from depth to try and stop the flat route, okay?
Yeah, your safety was super deep
out
on this
perfectly and thrown perfectly. It's one-on-one speed and space. You see what happens.
Yeah, so your safety is like in Timbuktu covering the slot. They react so hard to the split zone. When you throw it to Ronnie Bell in the flat, I mean, that safety has to come from, another country to try to tackle.
But these are the things they're doing now that they weren't doing well early in the season. Early in the season, I'm not sure they could have executed that play great. But now they're so comfortable in their scheme that this is seamless.
All right, so let's back out of this because you can watch the rest of these clips and get into many of the RPO variations. I want to go to bluff excellence. Bluff excellence, because we just spent so much time talking about how grossly Michigan State reacted to split zone. This plays perfectly into why their bluff stuff was perfect. They were perfect on their bluff zone stuff in this game, Al. And one variation we didn't even include in the video here, but Michigan State was not in position to defend this all game long. Michigan MSU 2019 bluff excellence. The first play that we will go over in this sequence, second quarter, 8:20, 2nd and 7.
Well, slot receivers to the short side. And if you watch the play, if you could see it, anybody following along, look what a great job the receivers did. Let's talk about that first, because both of them engaged their guy all the way through the progression of the run. The second thing is it's just like you draw it up. I mean, there's an over squeeze by the defensive end. McEwen comes around, hooks the scraping linebacker. Shea makes the great read, pulls the ball out. And it's maximum damage.
Right. So for those who are still foggy on split zone, I'm only going to highlight the player that is bluffing. So your H-back or your tight end comes across the formation on the backside, and on the split zone play, he kicks that end out. So you might see Sean McEwen or Nick Eubanks. They're coming across the formation, and then they kick a guy out on a split zone. Well, on a bluff, he steps around that end, and he becomes an alley blocker. And on this play, McEwen steps around the end, gets that linebacker, and Shea has green pastures in front of him to run the football.
Yeah, you just mess with him, right? You mess with him. You have 2 deals, and they got more than 2 deals. You just see another one here in a minute with a pass. But the end is just not sure how to play the play. And
right.
Conflict causes conflict, if that makes any sense.
It makes perfect sense. All right, so let's get back into the plays. Now we're going to go second quarter, 4:25, 2nd and goal, and this is a very familiar one because Michigan has scored touchdowns on it. And I thought Al was like, ooh, Al is excited about this play.
I just like
going back to Illinois.
I wish I'd have had this one. This is yeah. I mean, I don't know if this play's failed, but the tight end to the short side or the whoever it is, the U or whatever you want to call him, comes off real slow like he's going to block the inside linebacker, and then slips into a short corner. Can't be too deep because it is an RPO and you can't hold it real long. the fullback from offset position slides across the formation and behind the line of scrimmage on a line route. Line route is when you stay behind the line of scrimmage because the ball could be thrown. There could be linemen downfield. The quarterback comes out, reads that end. Maybe the end squeezes. So hell, he may just run it in the end zone.
So to explain really quickly, you gotta an edge guy, a tight end. In this case, it's Nick Eubanks, lined up play side, and Al said he comes off the ball like he's gonna block, and he slips down the field. Against Illinois, that's Schoonmaker who scores a touchdown on this play. In this game, it's Nick Eubanks who floats into the end zone. You still have your guy coming from the backside, your motion guy, and he runs a line route. Why is this important? Because to Al's point, you look deep first. If that's not there, well, now if you throw the football, if you wait on an RPO to throw the football down the field, you're going to get caught for an eligible man downfield. That's why your guy coming across has to run that line route, because now you got to throw it at or behind the line of scrimmage to not be called for an eligible man downfield.
Correct, exactly. And last week, who I guess was Maryland, he hit the line route for a touchdown. So you can see there's conflict all over the place. Conflict for the end, conflict for the safety, conflict for the man coming off the edge. You got issues because a lot of things could happen once this ball snapped.
All right, Steve, I want you to fast forward in the video to the 101 mark. Fast forward to the 101 mark, and we'll get the last play in this bluff series. And there are so many more that you can point to, folks. But this was the touchdown to Cornelius Johnson. And this was another bluff that turned into a touchdown.
Oh, this is nasty.
3rd and 2, fourth quarter, 2:45.
This play's nasty. We ran this at Auburn, and when it works, it just embarrasses the defense. This is a split zone, okay? And the quarterback is reading the end, okay? And now this play is designed for corners who want to trigger too quickly on a bluff play. And so they'll leave the receiver to come up to stop the play. Well, you call in the huddle, you go bluff play left, X slow. So X comes off slow like he's going to block him. As soon as he feels the corner bite,
so the X is Cornelius Johnson, folks, receiver. X is Cornelius Johnson. Yes. He comes off slow like he's going to block
him, and then as soon as he feels him bite, he leaves him. The quarterback now just reads the bluff play. You can tell this is an RPO for a lot of reasons, but not the least of which is the top two receivers are blocking because that ball could be handed off, right? All this could have been academic if the end didn't let him pull it. Well, he pulls the ball. The bluffer comes out to block his man. They leave the end free, and Shane gets it off just in time to where the linemen are downfield. And fortunately, the linemen weren't, because on this one, this play of all the RPOs is the highest risk of getting a guy downfield, because you can tend to hold this longer. But they're coming off front block and split zone. They're not. That's first thing you say is that a naked? Well, I can tell when it's a naked because all the receivers are running routes. Well, there's only one guy running a route here.
Absolutely. Great stuff. So we're going to have one more offensive play to break down on the other side. It's been the subject of a lot of questions, and then we'll get into Mike's expertise, the defense. So a lot more to get to on the captain and the coach. More will return here on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, The Ticket.